Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariana and today it's gonna be an exciting time, a great fun time, because I've been dying to make this video since this show came out. I'm doing another one of my show breakdowns. If you couldn't tell by the title, we're gonna get into a new show, a great show. I'm gonna be hyped up this whole video. I have so much to say, so many opinions. I'm gonna be talking about the show Cruel Summer, the new freeform show that aired in I think April 2021. Now, if you haven't heard about this show, I'm just gonna assume that you've been living under a rock or something, because everyone has been talking about this show. So like, if you're not watching it or if you haven't seen it at all, you need to I don't know, get on it, because it's a phenomenal show. The season finale aired last night, and so I can finally give all of my opinions on this damn show, from the characters to the plots to the plot twists to just like everything. If you have not watched my show breakdowns before, I basically just break down all the characters and what I think of them, say what the show is about, and then I talk about what I liked about the show and what I disliked. And it's usually a great fun time. I think this one's gonna be one of the most fun for me, because I don't think you guys understand. I have been theorizing and talking about this show for like 2 months. Like it's been a long time coming to get to this point right here. So let's just get into it, shall we? The show Cruel Summer is about two girls, Kate and Jeanette. It takes place in the early 1990s, so over the course of 3 years, 1993, 1994, 1995. And you will need to remember these years throughout my video and throughout watching the show, because it's pivotal. What happens in these years is pivotal, okay? So just like keep that in mind while watching my video. These two girls, one, Kate, gets kidnapped, okay? Kate gets kidnapped, and Jeanette, the other girl, steals Kate's life. And the whole entire show is about like showing the process of what they both went through during that time, and then what happened after the kidnapping when Kate gets saved from her kidnapper. And you know, Jeanette is being accused of knowing that Kate got kidnapped by the person that kidnapped her and didn't say anything to the police. So the whole entire show was just a he said, she said of, is she lying? Is she telling the truth? It's really good. I don't know if that was a good description, but it's really good. If you like Pretty Little Liars, I feel like you'll like this show, but I feel like this is like 10 times better than Pretty Little Liars. The first character I'm going to be talking about is Angela. Angela is Greg's girlfriend. Greg is Jeanette's dad. She met him while he and Cindy were in a relationship, but she didn't know. So therefore, I'm cool with Angela. I have nothing bad to really say about her. She seems like such a really nice person. She just got caught up in all this white people drama, and now she can't really get out of it, basically. While Jeanette was basically public enemy number one, Angela was flat out saying, hey, I'm on your side, like just talk to me, I can be there to support you, whatever. Like she said that flat out, I think in like the first or second episode, and I was like, okay, I like you, but you need to run away while you still can, because like this show is like the epitome of white people drama. And poor Angela, she just didn't know what she was getting into with this family and their mess. I only hope the best for her. I have no idea what happened to her though. We didn't see her in the last episode, or like the last 2 episodes actually. I have to give her props. When Cindy came back to the town and visited her at her workplace, she handled that in a very professional civil matter, because if that were me, like, Angela is like 10 times better than me. Imagine your boyfriend's ex-wife comes visit you at your workplace to talk about things and settle. Like, it's just, Cindy's like, I'll get to her soon, but yeah, Angela, this is about Angela. I like her. I wish I saw more of her throughout the season. I feel like she was one of those side characters that isn't that important, but she still left like an impression on me personally. That's Angela. Love her. Hope she's doing fine. Hope she's doing well. Kind of deserves better than Greg, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the next one. Next person I'm going to be talking about, Joy. Oh God, let's talk about crazy white woman for a second. Joy, Kate's mom, just an angry, bitter white woman for literally no reason. Like so rude, so mean, manipulative, like kind of evil. Like she pissed me off throughout the whole entire show. She's so annoying. So like she has this whole fake bestie mom thing with Kate. Like she pretends to be like someone that Kate can confide in throughout the whole entire show. She's really fake. She puts on a persona like the perfect housewife for her rich family and her rich husband and all this stuff. And like, it's very fake. Like, you could tell right off the bat that she's one of those people. Yeah, she was just very rude to Cindy and Jeanette. Whenever Cindy and Jeanette like talked to her, she was very mean, and I don't understand why till this day. Like, even after the season ended, it was never really explained why. I think it's because she's like classist or something, but also I'm not really sure. It seemed like a really deep-rooted hatred, to be honest. I'm pretty sure Cindy and Joy knew each other in high school. I'm pretty sure that was brought up. So I don't know if the moms have some type of like high school beef or what, but they're like in their 40s. They need to get that together. And I'm pretty sure it's just one side. I think Joy is still like going through whatever she's going through with that, but whatever. We found out that she's cheating on her husband with the gardener. So yeah, that wasn't good. And then when Kate tried to expose her for it, Kate got gaslit by her own mother. Could you imagine? Like, her mother was like, oh, Kate, you're seeing things. I was like, you're kind of evil. Literally, Kate was trying to tell her dad, like, hey, mom's cheating on you. And the one thing Joy said was like, you're kind of like lying. It's not nice to lie, Kate. And then she slapped her. It was a whole thing. That whole episode had me on the edge of my seat, because I was like, this woman is kind of crazy. Very in a bizarre type of way. Like, she's crazy and not a good mother by any means. I wish that I could say that that was the worst thing she's done, but it could be. It's debatable. But I personally think the worst thing she did was in 1995 when she put that damn paper that said a liar on the door to get Kate scared for the trial and to take it more seriously. Why would you want to scare Kate like that? After everything she's been through, why would you use that scare tactic? There's something not right with Joy up here. Like, actually, I need her to get far away from Kate. Like, I need Kate and her to distance themselves. And it's weird because in that same episode where that happened, they had a whole bonding moment of missing each other. I was like, no, this is not a healthy mom and daughter relationship. This is not a healthy relationship with any parent or child. Joy needs to get her priorities together, because it's definitely not Kate's well-being. I don't care what anyone says. She is not a good mother by any means. I said what I said and I meant what I said. She somewhat encouraged Kate to run away when she did. She was like, you know, even if you run away, I will find you. So like, there's no point. Like, even if you do try and you pack up all your clothes. This was after she slapped her, manipulated her, and gaslit her when like Kate exposed her for cheating. She was like, yeah, I mean, you can run away, but like, I'm gonna find you no matter what. And that's what encouraged Kate to go to Martin's house. Terrible mother, terrible person. Also, like, everything about her just makes me angry. And then the way that she talked to like Kate's stepdad, saying, oh, well, this is how I raise my kid, and she's not your kid, so you have no right to tell me how to raise her. Like, when she literally smacked Kate in the face. Yeah, she's done. I don't want to see her like think like she gives me headaches. Like, she makes me irritated. She's just like typical white woman in the worst way possible. Now let's get to Greg. So I have a lot of opinions on Greg. He was always on Jeanette's side. Like, every time there were clips of him and Jeanette, it was usually of her telling him what her and her friends got up to, him accepting it and forgiving her and moving on and not telling her mom about it. Like, whenever Jeanette did something bad, she always went to her dad, Greg, instead of Cindy, her mom, because he's a pushover. Basically, point blank period. Whenever Jeanette did anything bad, he was always on her side. Until it got to the point where she kept sneaking into Martin's house and Cindy found that key. He was like, oh crap. And then I think that's when it started switching, because in 1995 he's very distant from Jeanette. I'm telling you, these different years matter, okay? So like, from 1993 to 1994 they were kind of besties. 1994 is wonky, but in 1993, before she was popular, her and her dad were besties. Greg was pretty chill, and then like 1995 hits and he's the way he is, kind of like I don't want to say a drunk, but he's not sober half the time in 1995. I from what I remember, like, most of those scenes in 1995, he was drinking and sitting on the couch and doing nothing. So it wasn't a good time for him. And of course, Cindy wasn't there during that time either. That was when he was with Angela. So like, he had a lot going on, and some of it was deserved, because he's also not that good of a parent, but for totally different reasons. He's not like Joy, and like, he just doesn't parent at all. Like, he doesn't even try to discipline Jeanette until like it got to a certain point where Jeanette just did what she did, and he didn't even know how to handle it. Like, how do you handle that your daughter is seen as like somewhat of a criminal in the public eye. He never really wanted to admit that to himself, that Jeanette could be this person. That was the first, that was when I was like, okay, you refuse to listen to your wife, you refuse to listen to the town, because at that point the town knew that Jeanette did all of this, and he refused to listen to anyone, refused to listen to his wife. Even when she had the key in her hand, he was like, that's not the key to Martin's house. She would never do that. Literally, he's a realtor. All he would have to do is go to the house, say he's looking through it, open the door and see if it's the key, and he refused to do that. Cindy had to go over, drive her ass there to prove to him that, hey, their daughter is not what she seems. He stopped trusting Jeanette after that. I will say though, the heart-to-heart moments that Jeanette and him have are very wholesome and are heartwarming. Like, they had a pretty good daughter and father relationship up until the point where, like, when it came to actually parenting and disciplining her, he sucked at it. Yeah, Greg is just not that smart, not that good of a parent, but in a totally different reasons than Joy. He's just not that bright up here. And I get it, because like 2 years ago in 1993, Jeanette would have never done that, because she wasn't doing bad things at all, not until that stupid list, but she wasn't doing bad things at all. So of course it was hard for him to come to terms with the fact that Jeanette is this person now. But at some point, when all the evidence is pointing to yes, you have to like see it for what it is. And I thought that was the fact that he refused to admit that Jeanette might be guilty of this. He only distanced himself from Jeanette in 1995 because he thought that's what she wanted. I don't think it was because he had any bad feelings towards her. I mean, he was very passive aggressive, but I don't think it was because like he didn't love her anymore. I think it's just because he thought Jeanette wanted the distance. So I don't fault him for that. But also, you're the parent. You should talk to your kid, especially when they're the most hated person in the country. You should probably talk to your kid. That's kind of what got you in this mess in the first place. You didn't talk to Jeanette at all, and that's why she's on the news like every day. He started flirting with Angela, I think, while he was with Cindy. So that's very messed up, especially when Cindy was trying to talk to you and you refused to listen. Greg kind of pissed me off a lot in this show, but that's nothing new. Men usually piss me off in real life. So next, Cindy, aka April Kepner. If y'all know who Cindy. She was just trying to do her job as a mother, and everyone gaslit her more than I've ever seen in any show. Like, poor Cindy. So she knew Jeanette was lying kind of the whole time, and yet no one wanted to hear her out. Even when she found that damn key, Greg didn't hear her out. Jeanette was just calling her a liar. And then, of course, Derek, being Derek, he was just like, I'm just trying to focus on football, college. I don't have time for this. And I get it. But yeah, Cindy was like, our daughter might be a criminal, and we're just like sitting around like it's nothing, even though I have the key that was in her room in my hand that leads to Martin Harris's house where Kate was kidnapped. We're not gonna do anything with this. Like, it was like infuriating. That episode made me so pissed, because I was like, why is no one listening to this woman? And then no one wanted to hear her out until she left. Now, don't get me wrong, when she left, I was kind of on her side. But you see, when your daughter is the most hated person in the country, and she's going through a court case that could possibly like make her look even worse to the public, you should be there for your daughter despite like all the circumstances. I feel like she should have been there with her daughter, with Jeanette, instead of flying around as a flight attendant living her dream. You could do that any other time. I don't understand why she had to do that there, like during that time period in 1995. I didn't agree with that, but I understand her leaving the house, because why would you stay with someone who's calling you a liar, who's not taking you seriously, who just doesn't listen to you at all? Like, all of those people in the Turner house, they just don't listen to Cindy, and she's the only one with the brain in there. So yeah, I was feeling mad for her. It was getting very frustrating. I remember in 1993, before Jeanette turned cool and took Kate's place, I remember Cindy saying like, hey, I was the popular girl in school. You're gonna be popular too one day. You're gonna be pretty one day. I remember her saying that. She was like, you're gonna be pretty one day when your glasses come off and your braces come off. And like, I was just like, that's not something a mother should say to a daughter. That's not something that should have been said. I felt like with Cindy, she just wanted what was best for Jeanette at the end of the day, even though she didn't word it in the best ways. Like, usually like a mother should say, oh, I love you for who you are. But for Cindy, it was like, when your braces come off and people can see your pretty smile, when you take those glasses off, you're gonna be so pretty and everyone's gonna love you and you're gonna be popular. I was like, you're your mothering tactics aren't that great. But she was one that encouraged Jeanette to drop Mallory as a friend. So for that, I applaud Cindy, because I think without that advice, Jeanette would have felt obligated to keep Mallory as a friend. So thank you, Cindy, for telling her that, because very needed. Yeah, overall, I really love Cindy as a character. I wish she was in the show more. Whenever they cut between the years 1993, 1994, and 1995, it seemed like she was always kind of missing. She was always missing in 1995, but she was always in the years 1993 and 1994. We never really saw the reasons why until like the later episodes. I wish we saw her more, because she was the only person that had common sense in this damn show. One of the few adults that had common sense in the show. Got gaslit to hell and back. Ooh, I'll never forgive anyone in this show for gaslighting the one person with common sense. Typical. Let's get on to the teenagers, because these kids are the root of the show. So let's talk about Ben. So Ben is Jamie's best friend, and at least in 1993, 1994. In 1995, they don't talk. I swear, for the longest time, I thought they were brothers. It wasn't until I think episode 7 or 8 where I was like, oh, they're not related. I can never tell with white people. Sorry. I don't really know what to think of Ben. I don't think I really like him. I think I like him, but I don't think I do. It's because of the way he treats Vince. He's just stringing Vince along on a string, and I don't like that, because I love Vince. So therefore, I side-eye him a lot, but I know that he has a good heart. It's pretty clear that like he has no bad intentions. He's just 1990s. You're gay. I get it. You live in Texas. You're not really gonna get pretty far in a conservative like upbringing like that. I get it, but Vince is black and gay and lives in Texas. He has a lot more to worry about. Okay, like actually, like he said that he was like, I'm black, gay, and live in Texas. You think I want to come out to my family? No. But for some reason, Ben was like being weird towards him. It was weird. After the car accident though with Jamie, he was unable to play football, and I think that really took a toll on him in 1995, because it seemed like he was just really he didn't have the same vibe in the previous years. Like every time it flashed back and forth between the years, I was like, something's missing here, because it seemed like he was really sad. It wasn't until I think the last few episodes where we realized that what happened between him and Jamie, because him and Jamie aren't really seen together at all in 1995, and then we find out that Jamie got his ass in a car accident and now he's unable to play football again. So yeah, but yeah, overall I don't know how to really feel about Ben. If I'm being honest, kind of a wishy-washy character to me. He's just kind of there for Vince, but also not there for Vince at all. Like, not a good boyfriend in my eyes. So next character we have is Vince. My man, I love him. He's so funny. Probably one of the best characters in the show. Like objectively, he might be one of like my top 3. He was kind of the middleman for everything going on, like not even just with like the court case and the trial, but even with like the people surrounding the show. Like he was the middleman who kind of knew everything but was not a part of anything. Like he wanted no part in the mess. He was pretty neutral with any conflict that was given to him, and I loved him for it. Even with Jeanette and Mallory's beef or whatever, he was pretty neutral. He was like, I'm not in this, that's y'all's business. Like even when they fell out, he was still friends with both of them but separately. I was like, okay, good job, Vince. I love Vince so much. Get yourself a better boyfriend. You deserve better. Get someone better. I'm begging you. Yeah, they got together by bonding over their dead parents. I was like, huh. I was never really questioning how they got together. I just accepted it for what it was. But that was nice. That was a nice scene that was given. He was the only person that stuck around after Jeanette was like the most hated person ever. Like he in 1995, he was like her only friend during that time. He came over and checked on her and called her whenever Jamie was stalking outside her house. Like he was there for her no matter what. Like that's a loyal friend. I don't know what made him want to continue being loyal, especially after she did everything that she did. Yeah, he's very loyal. Like I need a friend like Vince. I just really like him, and I don't want anything bad to happen to him. Please. No one seems to hate Vince. I hope it stays that way. I hope he just maybe get new friends. Get him some like friends that aren't like crazy. Get him a boyfriend that will treat him with respect and somewhat love, because from Ben I don't really get that vibe, and I just want better from my man's Vince. So yeah, love him, great character. Hope he does well in the future. Next we have Ashley. Ashley is Kate's stepsister. Yeah, stepsister. I was okay with Ashley until like I wasn't. So she hated Kate. Like in 1993, before Kate went missing and stuff, like it showed very like in-depth clips of how Kate's life was before she was kidnapped, and it seemed like everyone in her family kind of sucked, including Ashley. So Ashley didn't want to get close to Kate. They didn't want to get close to Kate or her mom. She was only around the house for her dad. Like, she only wanted to hang out with her dad. And whenever Kate tried to confide in her, like, Kate was one that was like trying to tell her that, like, at first Kate thought that her dad was the one cheating, and she told her that, like, she told Ashley that, and Ashley of course got offended because that's her dad, like, of course. But whenever Kate tried to like talk to her and try to be a sister of some sort, Ashley didn't want that. Like, she was very rude, if I'm being honest. She pushed her away a lot, and it wasn't until after Kate got rescued after her kidnapping that Ashley wanted to get close to her. And in my opinion, it seemed very fake. Like, I don't really blame Kate for pushing her away, because I don't really know what she expected. It seemed like it was like a pity sort of bonding. Like, she only wanted to talk to her out of real pity, and I didn't like that. And then, not to mention, she was pretending to be Kate's friend online, pretending to be a kidnapped victim that Kate could relate to from her struggles. I was like, yeah, Ashley, you're kind of weird. I mean, I know why she did that, so she could talk to Kate without actually having to talk to Kate, but pretending to be a victim of kidnapping, going through what Kate's going through, feeling like Kate has someone that relates to her and she can confide in, it's very messed up, actually. Like, I don't like that she did that at all. Like, that really pissed me off. If I didn't know how to feel about her before, I started to really dislike her during that time. Like, if Kate wants her space, then just give her space. You didn't want to be a sister before, you want to be a sister now, and she obviously does not want that, so just leave her alone. Because that's what Kate did after a while. When you started to push away, she just left you alone. She didn't talk to you. She didn't talk to anyone. Kate felt like she couldn't talk to anyone. But I'm gonna get into that later. She's just an character. She wasn't in the last few episodes. I think she served her purpose after what happened with Jeanette's brother happened. Which, let's get into that, shall we? Let's talk about Derek, Jeanette's brother. Yeah, also one of my favorite characters. I like him because he's pretty just like straightforward. He's like, I'm on Jeanette's side. I don't deal with the BS. I'm on my sister's side no matter what. I don't care what anyone else is saying. Y'all can all go to hell. I thought his and Ashley's relationship was very cute at first, right? And then I started to look at Ashley weird, and I was like, let's backtrack, let's move back, let's reverse. And now after what he did, which was he slept with Ashley, I'm guessing he did it because he liked her. Like, don't get me wrong, the feelings were genuine on both sides from Ashley and from Derek. But he slept with her, and then he took the receipts from her computer of her messaging Kate on her fake username. Because remember, Ashley is pretending to be a fake person this whole time that's kidnapped and talking to Jeanette. Took all those personal receipts and gave them to Jeanette so she could use it against Kate in their trial. That's when I was like, oh, that's when shit started getting real, because I was like, oh, this is not gonna go well for Kate at all. I knew as soon as he gave those papers to Jeanette, I was like, it's all going downhill from there. Because Kate told everyone that she was kidnapped the whole time she was down there, and that was not the case. She was not in that basement the whole time. So I was like, he kind of turned the tables. Like, the tables were turned, the tables shifted. He defended Jeanette a lot, like against his friends, against Jamie, against basically the whole town. He had to defend her against people in his workplace. He's like a really good brother. He's a good brother, and I feel like Jeanette kind of took him for granted sometimes, especially during that one carnival episode. I was like, girl, he does not want any parts. Like, he'll have your back, but like, to string him around during this carnival while you're looking for Jamie of all people, come on now. I was like, don't piss me off. Jeanette, don't piss me off more than you already have, please. I'm glad he's away at college in 1995. Like, he's not worried about anyone except for his football team and himself for right now. I'm happy for him. And I hope things work out for him with Ashley, but also I don't think, after what he did, I don't think things are working out too well for them. Next, let's talk about Jamie, guys. Okay, so Jamie. Jamie. We have a lot to unpack with Jamie. He was a terrible boyfriend to Kate. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Get out the most obvious one out of the way. Got drunk at her birthday party. I think that was the first time he drank, and that's when like it all started spiraling downhill. Like, he had a huge drinking problem or whatever. And then, not to mention, he also used Kate's trauma against her when she brought up the fact that he cheated on her with Jeanette. He was like, oh, I don't think that's the case. Maybe like your trauma is like making you think some type of way. Maybe you're seeing things. I was like, yeah, you're a terrible person. You're evil. I don't fuck with Jamie. I don't care if he was on some type of redemption arc. I don't care if he apologized to everyone under the sun in 1995. What he did in 1993 and 1994, cut him off. Cut him off. Kate deserved better. He punched Jeanette in the face after Kate was found. And, you know, don't get me wrong. Jeanette's a weirdo. What she did was terrible. But you're in a relationship with this girl. At the time, he was in a relationship with her. And you punch her in the face. Yeah, red flag, red flag. And then Jeanette went looking, chasing after him for episodes on end after that. I was like, girl, you need priorities. Get your priorities in check. Because right now, you're like the town's like most hated person. You're worried about Jamie, who's not even checking for you. He's checking on Kate. He got in a car accident with Ben, and Ben was the one that had to suffer from it. In 1995, he was just spent like being guilty. Like, we didn't really see that many clips of him in 1995, but when we did, he was basically just sad all the time and just trying to make amends with people that he fucked over. And you know, that's nice. I don't have to forgive him for anything he did though. When he walked up to Kate during that carnival scene, I was like, what are you doing, bro? Like, she has moved on. She's not thinking about no one, nobody, especially not your ass. So keep it moving. Then he apologized to Jeanette, talked to her, and I guess they deserve each other because they're both weirdos. So I hope they're happy with each other. I don't really understand why they ended up together in 1995 though, because in the first episode, he is still stalking her outside her house with a gun in his glove compartment in his car. So I don't know if that was meant for like Jeanette, or maybe he was gonna like use it on himself. I don't know. And then like in the last few episodes, it's just him talking to Jeanette and like apologizing and making amends for stuff. But I don't really understand why that means that they have to be together. I don't know when the hatred died down between, at least on Jamie's side, at least. I don't know, because from going to having a gun at your side when you're across the street from her house to like holding her hand on said car, looking out into the sunset, it's very weird. It's weird behavior. I don't know how to feel about that. He's a wishy-washy character as well, just like Ben. The very wishy-washy. When he took Kate's side, when Kate got back from like being kidnapped and when she was rescued, he was there with her. He like confided in her, supported her, wanted her to know that he was there for her throughout the whole entire thing. And then he cheated on her with Jeanette by kissing her in the park, gaslit Kate for it. And you know, even while all this is going on, he was still checking up on Jeanette, making sure she was okay. I was like, you have to pick a side. You can't have both. You can't have both. Even Vince had to check him. Vince, the guy who doesn't go into anything, none of this white people drama, he's very like non-confrontational. He had to like check Jamie and be like, you don't know what you're doing. You need to leave Jeanette alone. Like, Jeanette does not need your problems and her business. Like, I was like, yes, Vince, yes. That's why you're my favorite character, because Jamie is literally a mess. Everywhere he goes, just trouble. Trouble follows. Keep him away from people. He might need some therapy as well. He has a lot of baggage, and I don't know if he got some. I hope so. I don't think he did, because there's a lot to unpack with Jamie, but I have so many other things to say about other characters that I can't get into. But yeah, that's Jamie. Let's move on. Next, we have Mallory, another weirdo on the list. Oh my god, yay. So yeah, Mallory was weird from the get-go. I didn't like her. She made Jeanette and Vince do that stupid list during the summer that caused all this chaos. Literally, I mean, she didn't force Jeanette to go back into Martin's house after the first time, so I guess you can't really blame her for that. But everything started spiraling when this list got involved. So just another thing for me to blame her for. I don't like her, so I'm just gonna like put that in there. And then when Jeanette did not want to do anything on the list, like she pressured her into it. Because at first Jeanette was like, why do I have to do this? Like, why are you making me steal a key from my dad's job so we can break into some guy's house? Like, this is so weird. And Mallory was like pressuring her to do it. I was like, you're very weird. Like, why is this what you want to do with your summer? It was strange. She's very strange, very bossy, like, and really into this list. Like, even when school started, she was into this list, like pressured Vince and Jeanette to do it. I was like, you're very weird. You are a weirdo. When her and Jeanette had that falling out, she had a grudge against Jeanette. I don't know if it was because she became popular, or because like she stopped being her friend, but she had this weird grudge against her. I was like, Jeanette wanting to make new friends that are not you it's not an issue. Maybe you should make new friends. And then she did. She befriended Kate, the girl that she hated for like nearly 2 years straight. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I saw how it happened, but I still don't understand how or when it switched. She befriended Kate because they go to the same therapist, so like they befriended each other like in the waiting room. And I still don't know why, because she didn't like Kate for some reason. Like throughout the whole entire like 2 years, she did not like Kate, and then all of a sudden she did. And then like she never told Kate that she saw her through the window that night at Martin's house. So that was, I know she said that she did it to protect Kate, but I was like, that's very weird. I mean, she didn't know it was Kate at that time, But she knew that before becoming Kate's friend. Didn't tell her at all. Just like, let's just hide this under the rug. It was just strange. Mallory is strange. That's all I have to say about her. I don't really like her. She's very weird. I don't know if I was supposed to like her by the end of the show. I don't. She just got more annoying as the show progressed. All up into everyone's business. Like, literally so rude, so mean, wanting to control everything her friends do. She didn't have that mentality with Kate, so I was like, what changed? With her and Kate, it was pretty like a basic friendship. Like, she wasn't overbearing, wasn't trying to control everything. It was like pretty standard. I don't know why she couldn't do that with Jeanette or Vince. Vince didn't seem to mind, but of course Jeanette did, because I feel like any person would, with the way Mallory was talking out of her neck to Jeanette. I would be like Jeanette. I would be pissed off too, because who is Mallory talking to? Next, let's talk about Martin, this evil man, the guy that kidnapped Kate, a groomer. When she wanted to leave his house, he tried to manipulate her by saying, oh, well, you're not thinking about me when you're leaving, because if you leave, then what are the police gonna think? What are you gonna tell the police? What am I gonna do? Go to jail. He's just a manipulator, like an evil man since the beginning. Like, he made Kate's parents think he was trustworthy too. Went on a camping trip with him, made sure that her mom did not call the police when Kate went missing, because he was like, oh, it might look bad on you and your husband if you call the police, because what are they gonna think when you say that, oh, she ran away? Like, they're gonna think that like you did something, knowing damn well that Kate's at his house, not missing, at his house. He got invited to all these rich parties where he talks to her parents. Like, he was like planning. I don't want to say he was planning it, but because he wasn't, it just kind of happened. But like, I feel like he was preparing for this at some point. Like, there's no way, because the way he was talking to Kate, flirting with her whenever she was like next to him, and like saying things that a principal should never say. Because let's be clear, he's a principal, he works with kids. Red flags all around, red flags. I saw the red flags. There's no one else saying the red flags. He was creepy to me from the start, even without all the stuff that he did to Kate. He's just really creepy. What's wrong with the parents? First of all, why would Kate's mom invite him on a camping trip with Kate? I understand why she did it, but her reasoning wasn't good. It was because like he found her on the side of the road drunk and stuff, and like that was her saying thank you for not telling people that Kate was on the side of the road drunk. And let's just be clear, she was on the side of the road drunk because you were the one that gaslit her again in front of all these rich people, and Kate didn't know what to do with herself because she can't talk to anyone. Kate can't talk to anyone because no one believes her. So of course Martin found her, had Kate running up and down his stairs in his house, literally like grooming her. And then when it got to a point where she wanted to leave, he wouldn't let her leave. He locked her in that basement for months. And then of course we learned more about him, like his dad committed suicide when he was young, and so he thought that was how he was going to die. And no, Kate took the gun, aka Annabelle. Shout out to the special character of the whole entire show, Annabelle. The name of the gun. Took the gun, shot him. Good for her. Yeah, Martin can kiss my ass. I hate him. So let's talk about Kate, the real victim of this show. Y'all can say what you want, but Kate is the victim here. And y'all, like, I see a lot of people on Twitter saying the most nasty things. I was like, y'all are forgetting who's the victim in the situation. The girl that got groomed, the child. She is literally a teenager that got groomed, held captive by a kidnapper. It doesn't matter that she's a spoiled rich brat, even though she's not. She was being groomed by Martin the whole entire time. In 1993, she was being groomed. Before she was even in that house, she was being groomed. While she was missing, she was just chilling before being locked up in that basement. So yes, she did lie about that, but also if she told the truth, like, people would side eye her. Like, I understand why she didn't. She should have, but also it's her story. It's like, she doesn't really need to tell y'all, the public. I mean, the public at the time. She should have told her lawyers. Don't get me wrong. It was very not that smart for her to not to tell her lawyers, but it's her story, it's her trauma, it's her past. I don't understand why people don't like her. She was never mean. Before she was kidnapped, she was so sweet to everyone. She was nice to Jeanette, even though Jeanette did not deserve it. So she said that Jeanette saw her in that house, didn't say anything to anyone, right? And that's fair, because she did think Jeanette saw her. She said that she would not have said that if she thought otherwise. She didn't do this to like get back at Jeanette because Jeanette stole her life. She really thought that Jeanette saw her, and lo and behold, we find out that that is kind of the case, because her life is kind of messed up. A lot of people don't get that. Like, her life was a mess. Let's just name it off. An overbearing mother who also cheated on her father and then gaslit her for it. Jamie, who wasn't a good boyfriend. Fake friends, because her two besties that became Jeanette's besties after she got kidnapped, yeah, they're fake as hell. Her stepsister did not want to get to know her, did not want to be her friend, did not want to listen to her at all. Of course, that's going to leave all of this mess. I felt bad for Kate all throughout the show, because no one listened to her, no one talked to her, no one respected her. It was just a mess. Martin saw the way that her family was reacting to her and saw that she had no one else to go to and no one else to confide in, and he used that to his advantage. He literally took advantage of her, manipulated her in every sense of the word, saw that she was vulnerable and had no one else, thought that she had no one else, and so he used that to his advantage. She is the victim. I don't care what y'all have to say. I really don't. Like, some of y'all on Twitter are crazy if y'all think I'm gonna side with anyone else but Kate in this situation. Like, come on. Y'all are gonna need to get it together. I don't know what's going on there. Y'all are kind of batshit crazy, like, and terrible people. I can't believe the discourse over this. Like, there should be no discourse. Kate is the victim, Martin is a terrible person, and just because she behaved the way that she did before she got kidnapped does not mean that she deserved it in any way. Yes, she did leave Martin's house on her free will on that Christmas Eve when she saw her parents through the window. Yes, she did. But it should be noted that she felt like she should go back to Martin because she did care about him. She did love him. She even says till the end she did love him. She thought that her going back to her family meant that Martin would get in trouble. And so she went back to Martin's house that night and did not go to the police because she loved him till the end, because that's what he made her to believe. He said that he's the only one that cares about her. He loves her. Like, he will do anything for her. He made her believe that, and so that's what she believed. I don't understand what's so confusing to you guys about this. It's not rocket science, okay? Groomer, groomie, victim, child, teenager, grown man in his 30s. Come on now. Don't play dumb. The fact that she apologized to Jeanette in the end, oh, I got pissed off because I didn't believe Jeanette for a second. Even in the end, even in that finale episode where there was a back and forth of who was guilty and who wasn't, I didn't believe Jeanette for a second. The fact that Jeanette made Kate apologize to her. Ooh, let's get on to Jeanette, shall we? Jeanette, last character, main character, kinda, basically, truly. Yeah, Jeanette. So this girl is crazy. We all know. Stole Kate's life as soon as she went missing. Took her boyfriend, took her friends, took kind of her personality. She went back to Martin's house multiple times after the first time her, Mallory, and Vince did it while he was living in the house. Because the first time they did it, he wasn't fully moved in. And then she did it multiple times to take random things from his house. Weird. And then she went back there twice. Once for the snow globe, that random snow globe that was introduced in the last few episodes that I thought was really stupid, but I guess tied the whole story together. The one time she went in there when Kate was in the house, that was when Kate thought that she saw her, but that was not the case, according to Jeanette. Jeanette did not see her in that case. However, we later on find out that she did go back in that house twice, maybe more times. But by the end of the finale episode, we saw Jeanette back in the house, and Jeanette heard Kate banging on the basement door asking who was there, if she could get let out, if Martin could let her out. And Jeanette reached for the knob, put her hand back, and smiled. She's an evil little girl. Ooh, so evil. And the fact that she made Kate believe that she was innocent till the end made this poor girl apologize to her. No, Jeanette, she's I hate this girl. I hate her so much. Lied to her parents and friends multiple times. She lied to the first red flag I saw was when Mallory brought over her weed, and then Jeanette said that she threw the weed down the toilet or whatever because she didn't want Mallory to get in trouble, just for her to have the weed. She took it, put it in her jewelry box, didn't tell Mallory at all. Mallory got in trouble by her mother. That's when I was like, you're not to be trusted. She wanted to be cool, and she wanted to be seen, and she wanted to be seen as pretty and perfect and everything that Kate was. Little did she know that Kate hated her life. Kate hated being put in the spotlight, hated being seen by people as this epitome of perfection. She hated that, and Jeanette wanted that. She was envious, and she wanted to be like Kate. She had her scrunchie. She followed Kate around at some points. She was just being very weird. She idolized Kate. That's when I knew this girl is a weirdo. And I said that until the end, and no one believed me until the very end of that final episode. I knew that she didn't see her in the house likely, but she knew that she was down there. She didn't say anything. She heard her in that basement, didn't open it or nothing. And who knows, maybe she went back in there multiple times when Kate was down in the basement. Not to mention when her mom tried to call her out on her BS and her lying, she gaslit her mom and made her dad think she was telling the truth. And that led to Cindy leaving the house and basically not seeing their family for a whole year. Yeah, that's why I don't blame Cindy at all, because Jeanette was lying the whole entire time. Even before we found that out and got it confirmed at the end, I was like, there's no way. This girl, she's manipulating literally everyone around her. She tried to manipulate Jamie. She tried to convince her friends that she was innocent. And in the end, she got everything she wanted. She got her innocence. She got Jamie. I think all she wanted was Jamie in the end and her name to be cleared. But she doesn't deserve that at all. All of this just so she could be seen as popular. Are you kidding me? That girl is crazy. So yeah, that's all the characters. Now I'm going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about the show. So let's just get this out of the way. Things I liked. It kept me hooked from the beginning to end, and I loved that. Usually, like with mystery shows especially, it takes me a while to get into it, and then like I end up getting bored at some points. But with this show, it was like very unpredictable. I did not know who to trust. Like everyone was kind of on my hit list. Me and my mom, because my mom was watching this show with me, we were theorizing after every episode. We didn't know what was going on. Every episode left on a cliffhanger that made me want to continue watching. And I think it did a great job of that, because every episode it like confirmed something else that led to a different plot from the previous episodes and stuff that kept you questioning, but also like knowing more. And it really kept you hooked until that last episode. And I like that there was kind of like mostly gray characters throughout the show. Like there was no really good or evil person per se. Like, don't get me wrong, there were evil people in the show, but like for the most part, most of the characters were in this gray area of not knowing who to believe, who to trust, and they all did their fair share of bad things, and but they don't know whose side to take in terms of like Kate or Jeanette. Like there was like a morally gray area for everyone, because everyone was seen as guilty at one point throughout this show. So I liked that a lot. I feel like the show did a good job of revealing who did what in what year and what timeline. And now on to the things that I did not like. Everything about this show I liked. The one thing I don't like though, why are you doing a season 2, Freeform? Why are you making this into multiple seasons? See, because Freeform does this thing where they don't know to quit while they're ahead with most of their shows. They're going to drag this out when it doesn't need to be. I personally feel like that ending was great. I feel like the ending with Jeanette was perfectly done. I feel like we got the answers we needed, and it left us on a cliffhanger, but we don't need to see how it all plays out. It should be just a limited series, in my opinion. My mom thinks that if they're gonna do another season, they should do it with new kids in a new town with a new mystery of some sort. I feel like that would be really cool. But Freeform has something original, so of course they're not going to do that. They're gonna keep on stringing these cast members along until the ends of time. Just quit while you're ahead. It's already great. You don't need to ruin it don't, please. I'm begging, because they just don't stop. They will never stop terrorizing my favorite shows. They do this with every single good show they have. They just string it out and when it doesn't need to be. It's called Cruel Summer for a reason, not Cruel Summers, not Cruel Winter, not Cruel Spring, not Cruel Fall. It is literally Cruel Summer. Let it be what it is. Let it be like the 9-10 episode show that it is, because it was done great. You haven't had a show like this in a while, Freeform. I'm talking to you directly, Freeform. You have not had a hit show like this in a while. I'm pretty sure it broke records. Like Cruel Summer is like the most watched show on their network that they've had. Why are you trying to ruin it? Don't ruin it. Please. The actors did their part. The script writers did their part. The producers, everyone a part of the show did their part. Now you need to do your part and just let it end where it's at. Everyone did an amazing job except you. Why are you not getting the message? They ruined this show. I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be furious. Stop. I'm begging you. Stop it. Stop it. Don't piss me off. But that's all I dislike. It's not even about the show. It's just Freeform being themselves. They just don't know how to stop. I'm asking you politely. Stop it. If you enjoyed this, thank you. Yeah, that's all I have to say. If you have not watched the show, which I'm pretty sure if you haven't, I basically spoiled everything for you in this video, but if you still are interested in watching it, you should. It's a great show. Watch the first season while it's still good and great before Freeform ruins it. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna ruin it. Like, I have no faith in that network at all. I've seen too many good shows go bad because of them. Watch it watch it. It's so good. Very great. The actors do their part. They act like the rent is due. So watch it. If you'd like to follow me on all my social medias, here it is. I mainly interact on Twitter. But if you'd like to follow me on all my other social medias to be nice, they will be linked in the description below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.